Right, 25 September 2025, and today I'm back for the afternoon update, and we have had a very interesting day in Masvingo today. So Chiwenga is very interesting. He has been doing a lot of interesting things in Masvingo. He started off by touring the stands at the Construction Federation of Zimbabwe Congress, which is taking place in Masvingo. But what is interesting is what he has said this morning or later this afternoon. So Chiwenga has raised the issue of the decay of infrastructure across the whole country. And he says Zimbabwe, as it stands right now, it needs to be ripped apart and a new thing needs to be put in place. So his speech is obviously featured on many of the platforms. What I've seen is that a majority of the platforms are now covering Chiwenga. So almost all the ZANU-PF platforms are now in favor of Chiwenga. So you can go and check out. You can also go and check Christine Charumbira. She's got 2 videos there. But let me show you the interesting part about what Chiwenga said this afternoon. So he's speaking about all the suburbs that we have in Zimbabwe. So check out this bit, this portion, when he's talking about infrastructure in Zimbabwe.
Most of our cities, the housing, roads, everything that is there is now archaic. You look at Sakuba, you look at Ibari, you look at Kadoma, you look at Mutapa. Here in Masvingo, you look at Machekwe. You look at the Ilblawayo Makokoa. Those sites must disappear from the face of the earth. And it is you who is going to do that.
Okay, so this is very interesting because Chiwenga is clear. He has identified the problem. Our country looks so bad. Everywhere you go, if you bring people to Zimbabwe, they won't come back. And this has been clear with the tourists and the investors who have come to Zimbabwe. They are shocked about the way that our country looks. So now that Chiwenga has identified this, what is the next move? Because we've got a serious problem. And this is not only the problem that he identified. He has also identified the lack of capacity among the people in the construction sector of Zimbabwe. So he has said to them, you can have 100 construction companies, but if you've got one grader, one tipper, it makes no sense. So there's need to capacitate the construction industry in Zimbabwe. And I've been saying here for a very long time that if you came into Zimbabwe in 1980 and you go today, you will find that the same place looks the same. Nothing has changed. So the country is not developed, it is stagnated. And I'm very happy to see Chiwenga raising these issues. But now we need to act, and there is no time to wait. So it's very important for Chiwenga and the people in Zimbabwe government to start making moves, the right moves to act. And they've said obviously that the private sector has to do it. You heard Chiwenga saying the private sector has to do it. But I believe that there is a part that the government needs to play. You can see Chiwenga is enjoying himself in here. He's also getting a lot of attention. I've never seen anyone getting as much attention as Chiwenga is getting right now. And you can see there, he's moving around with Chadzamira. I don't know if Chadzamira has changed sides, but it's interesting to watch what's happening with Chiwenga. I don't know what is going to happen here, guys. We are in a new era. And you remember what I said last month when I wrote a letter to Mnangagwa. There's a need for dialogue in the country so that people who have got the skills can come into the country and develop it. Where we've gotten now, we've gotten to a point where there's a consensus inside ZANU-PF and outside ZANU-PF that things are not working. You hear the vice president of the country explaining that what is happening now is not what should be happening. He is saying it on a stage in his official capacity. It's a call to action. So everyone is now agreed. After all this time, everyone is agreed that Zimbabwe is not where it's supposed to be. So what do we do now? That is the question that needs to be answered. And Chiwenga is raising important questions. So I'll be updating you guys as we go. And our news readers will also be updating you. But when Chiwenga speaks, it goes to everyone. There's no one who hasn't seen this, that the country is a dump. Okay, you didn't say it in those words, but in my words, Chiwenga is agreed with us that Zimbabwe is a dump. If you go to Makokoba, if you go to Sakuva, if you go to Mutapa, if you go to Mbare, it's a total mess. And here's the vice president saying it, let's get it sorted. And I would like to thank all of you guys for watching. It's crazy. I cannot believe that these words are coming from the government of Zimbabwe, from people who work in Mnangagwa's office. That is Chiwenga. And as I said, these words must not just end as words. We need action to take place. These guys must listen. So there must be an action that comes out of this realization. What do we do now that the vice president of the country has indicated that things are not working? How do we fix it? That is where we are. So let me see other platforms, what they've said about Chiwenga. So if you go to Twitter or X, if you follow a platform called Tell Zim. So Tell Zim is a paper from Masvingo. You will see that they're covering this a lot. So they're covering step by step everything that Chiwenga is doing. So go over to Tell Zim. They've been covering since morning. They arrived at the airport and they were covering Chiwenga. And then obviously we've got Christine Charumbira. We've got a lot of other people following Chiwenga around. And then it is my hope. What all those platforms that used to follow Mnangagwa are now following Chiwenga very closely. People love Chiwenga. And I hope that this translates into a change to our country. We want our country to do well. And I think Chiwenga is demonstrating his ability to communicate what people feel and think at home. All right, I'd like to thank all of you for watching. I'll see you guys tonight around 9:10 as we look at the Seychelles elections. And we are going to be suspending for a while we're covering for the next 3 days. We're suspending the M31 Zimbabwe programs and focusing entirely on the Seychelles elections at night. Thank you very much. And I'll see you guys tonight and a good day.